Welcome back to Newsfeed. Let's get into some business news now. All indications are that consumers are shying away from credit for their Black Friday spend and choosing instead to use cash, debit or cheque cards for their needs and wants. Business reporter Ntokozo Khumalo was out and about in Johannesburg today to get a sense of what consumers are spending on. Let's take a look.
Retailers across the country are expected to realize sales of about 7 billion rand over the Black Friday weekend, which also happens to be payday for a lot of consumers.
What we're seeing this year, which has been far greater than the prior years, was the demand for essentials. So we've bought a lot more in your toiletries, your dry groceries, baby products that customers seek and want. And just in about every trolley you see the electronics. You also see home living. People are buying a lot of linen. They're buying a lot of pillows and things like that for the house, carpets, furniture. But you all see a lot of essentials in every single trolley.
Customers are cash strapped. The economy is tough, so the pocket is a bit tight. What we are seeing is really customers actually spending mostly on essentials. Customers basically spending on groceries, department stores. They're spending sort of retail clothing, footwear. I mean, the interesting one that we've seen sort of a bit prominent this morning is that we can see that actually customers are booking their holidays. So there's quite a bit of an uptick in terms of flights and accommodation, and also some very high numbers, I guess, in there. But those are sort of the trends that we're seeing so far.
Consumers will be looking for specials ahead of the holiday season, but banks do warn that they must plan they spend in order to avoid falling into debts.
Just look, for example, in our current portfolio between debit and credit card, we can actually see that most of the customers are spending on their debit and cheque cards. Almost 90% of what we're seeing is on that space so far. So we do think customers either have saved up for this occasion to basically spend today. Yes, there is spend that goes through on credit card, especially when we talk about the large amounts. We actually do tend to see that mostly on the credit card. But I think our message is on this Black Friday, if you haven't budgeted for it, if it's not part of the essentials that you really need, don't really dip into your credit and actually start spending, because remember, there's still tomorrow where you then have to...
But what if I get here, Tumelo, and I realize it is an essential that I need?
You won't find out at the mall, right? If it's an essential, you knew that before you left the house. So the thinking is really, you probably already have a wish list. You've budgeted for those items. Go and spend only on those items, unless if you've got sort of some spare cash sitting on the side that you want to use. But our message is really only spend on credit if it's something that you really have to. But we're actually saying rather not unless if it's something that it's a must-have.
Consumers in Gauteng led the charge when it comes to those Black Friday spending in early trade on Friday, making up just about half of total transactions, and of course followed closely by the Western Cape. However, Limpopo, the Free State and other provinces making up less than 1% of total transactions by the mid-morning.